Don't mess with me. I'm one crazy mofo. I had to pop a cop because he wasn't giving me my props in Oaktown.
Okay.
All right. Here come the hype. Don't give me no problem. Just give me the light. These niggas, they ain't ready. They ain't real. They ready to pipe. The game dead is in the bed. I'm bringing the light. What can I say? I've been this way. I was for life. These niggas weak. Ain't this slow. The shit on light. I'm gonna know. It ain't enough. I'm turning it up. Don't know what they think. Must be thinking too much. Look, don't care what you do. Don't care what you try. Don't know what to take. You not on my level. Nigga, I was born to rebel. Yeah, nigga, I'm on let that mojo Austin Powers. We do not fuck with them niggas. We don't know no cowards. Roman stepping. That's why shit it ain't gon' see. When I take your spot, I own the spot. Ain't no lease. Monopoly with that property. I'm gonna go my people, nigga. Yo, I pick up the pieces. I make this shit look easy. You screaming out good Jesus. That man don't fight like Jesus. You just my blow you place. You see how quick it big. I told you, I'm gonna go. Bitch, be ready. Oh, I'm leaving. These rappers just my meaning me. I swear I'm not the evil. Go. All right. Tell me good night. Tell me so. I ain't never net. I already told. I'm always for life. So don't run for me, nigga. Don't come for me, nigga. Been doing my man from down to my legs. I need a bag. I need a bag. So I'm back in my bag. They need the pressure. I got it made. I'm gonna introduce you to that mojo flow. That alkaline. Don't care what you do. Don't care if you try. Don't know what to take. You're not on my level. Nigga, I was born to rap. Nigga, I'm on promo. Got that mojo Austin Powers. We do not fuck with them niggas. We don't know no cowards. You don't understand. I'm the man. Doing the mill. Yeah, you done. Tell good night. They should be killed. I'm in your point. I'm in the truck. And it's a riddle. Nah, I can't talk. I can go. Cause I'm in the general. Alright, shut this shit. They go nuts. This mojo just for grown-ups. Went live with my baby. She said, boo, I love you so much. I said, I love you too. But I gotta go. We didn't show them. I gotta get this paper. Cause my baby needs the rubber. Alright. Bitch, the hot. Show me his hoe. Now give me the nut. Look at him and shake. I shook him like that. Now I already told. I ain't ever nuts. Don't care what you do. Don't care if you try. I don't know what to take. You're not home or up. Nigga, I was born to rap. Nigga, I'm on promo. Got that mojo Austin Powers. We do not fuck with them niggas. We don't know no cowards.
Shalom. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatham to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemal Athan by Hashem, Yahweh Shah to all the sisters. This is the I.S.U.P.K. started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander General Yohanan, we've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that they are the Israelites that the Bible speak of since 1969. Right, and today is Wednesday law class, Wednesday biblical law class, and today's topic is interracial marriage is against God. Yes, interracial marriage is sin. Right, so in saying that, right, interracial marriage is a sin. So you should. Let me start out by saying there's nothing better than a black, Hispanic, or Native American woman, right? They're the greatest women on the planet. Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. They're the greatest women on this planet. Anything outside of that, there are dogs. They are dogs, right? Because the greatest people on this planet are black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. You Israelites, everybody on this sign. They are the greatest people on this planet, right? And interracial marriage, right? So now we're about to get into some definitions, right? This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, right? Zondervan Bible Dictionary. This is marriage, right? It says an intimate personal union to which a man and a woman consent, right? So this is between a man and a woman, right? That they consent. So men marrying men is out of the question, and women marrying women is out of the question, right? It's an intimate personal union to which a man and a woman consent, right? It says consummated and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse. So that's right there is telling you sex is marriage, because it says it's consummated and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse, right? And it says and perfected in a lifelong partnership of mutual love and commitment, right? So that's what the I.S.U.P.K been saying since 1969, right? About sex is marriage, and it's a lifelong agreement. It's a lifelong agreement to be married. So you can't just get married and then get unmarried like a divorce. There's no such thing as divorce in the Bible, right? There's no such thing as divorce. That's what the I.S.U.P.K been saying since 1969. But it gets deeper. Look, it says it is also a social institution. My bad. With sexual intercourse, and is perfected in a lifelong partnership of mutual love and commitment, right? It says it is also a social institution regulated by the word of God, right? And by the laws and customs, right? It says and by the laws and the customs, right? So when you look up customs, right? That's why who you should marry should be Black, Hispanic, and Native American, because y'all share the same customs. Y'all share the same laws of God, right? So that lets you know right there that there's no interracial marriage. First, marriage is sex is marriage, right? And then it's lifelong. So there's no lifelong. So there's no divorce in the Bible, right? And then it's regulated by the word of God, right? And by the laws and customs, right? So the two people that are getting married should have the same laws and customs, right? And that's you Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have the same custom. Shalom, sis. Y'all have the same customs, man. So that's what that is saying right there. It's no interracial marriage. Y'all should have the same customs. You and the so-called Edomite does not have the same customs. You and the so-called Ishmaelite does not have the same customs. You and the Ammonite does not have the same customs. You and the Moabite does not have the same customs. You and the East Indian does not have the same customs, Israel. You Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, y'all have the same customs. Y'all just like we brought out yesterday about how all the 12 tribes was discriminated against the same way in every country that they're in, right? That's what we're saying right now. A slave should be with a slave, man. Right? An Israelite should be with an Israelite, man. So when you 12, and for you brothers out there that like so-called white women, man, you got 12 tribes to pick from, man. Pick one. Get one. You got 12 tribes to get one from. 12 tribes. You got all they come in big, small, light, dark, short hair, long hair, kinky hair, straight hair, whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. They got all types of different types of flavors out there in Israel. We have all types of different flavors in Israel, man. All you have to do is pick one, court her, consummate the marriage, man. Y'all be happy, right? Next, I got another definition for you: interracial marriage. Let's see what that is. This is the definition: interracial marriage. It says, is a form of marriage involving spouses who belong to different races, right, or racialized ethnicities. So what it's saying is it's two different races that get married. That's what it's saying, right? So it's like a black man and a white woman, or a white woman. Or a white man and a black woman, or an Asian man and a black man, right? A East Indian man and a black man. That's what interracial marriage is. Interracial marriage is intertwining two different races, right? So they have mixed children and stuff like that, right? And it says in the past, such marriages were outlawed in the United States, Nazi Germany, and apartheid era in South Africa as miscegenation, right? So it used to be outlawed. In America, we know that it used to be outlawed in America, but it was also outlawed in Nazi Germany, and it was also outlawed in South Africa, right? But you know who changed that? Orgy Mike, your Martin Luther King. He changed that because he had an infatuation with white women, and he wanted to have sex with white women, right? That's who helped change that in the big way with all those marches and all those different. With all those marches and him going to Lyndon B. Johnson and trying to get those civil rights, so-called civil rights, man. We'd rather be separate. We'd rather be separated. We didn't want no integration. Integration was the one thing that killed Black, Hispanic, and Native American pride. Because before that, we knew who the devil was. Before that, we knew who our brothers was, and we knew who we can go to come together. Right? But then after Martin Luther King, now we just lost in the sauce. Now we just lost in the sauce. We think we can live next to these people. We think that we think that they love us, but they really don't love us, man. And to make matters worse, man, what Martin Luther King did, Martin Luther King in integration told us that black diners wasn't good. We should go eat at the white diners. Black bus transportation wasn't good. We should go to the white bus transportation. That's what he did. Our black malls wasn't good. We should go to the white malls. Our black schools wasn't good enough. We should go to the white schools. That's what he did. That's what he did. And that's a horrible and that's a horrible thing to subjugate a people. To subjugate a people that was building black business, that was building business for their own self, right? And tell them that they should integrate with another people that hate them. That is a terrible thing. But Orgy Mike looking out, that just like Christian pastors, man. That's just like Christian pastors, man. Always looking out for their self, that they'll throw their people under the bus. That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. They'll throw their people under the bus, looking out for themselves. Right? That's why the I.S.U.P.K is necessary, man. Giving people an identity, bringing them back to their God, right? And letting them know how to get out of the hell that we're in here in America. That's why the I.S.U.P.K is necessary. That's why this One West is necessary, right? And it finished saying, right, in 1960, interracial marriage was forbidden by law in 31 of the U.S. states. So in 1960, interracial marriage was forbidden. That was forbidden. And if you was a black man and you was trying to have sex with a white woman, right? That was payable by death. Ask Emmett Till. Emmett Till died because they say that he whistled at a white woman, and then it comes down almost 70 years later after his death that the white woman lied. Ain't that something? What about Rosewood, Florida? Right? In Rosewood, Florida, the lady was messing around with another white man. Then when the husband found out, she said that it was a black man and he raped her. And they destroyed that black community. Right? One second, let me get my ducks in a row here. Hey man, where we at? There it is. All right, got my ducks in a row. But that's what happened. That's what happened. She said that in Rosewood, Florida, she said that a black man raped her, and then the white man that was defending the white woman, right, went and set fire and lynched a whole bunch of black people in the black community, man. That's what they did. That's what they did. So black men messing with a white woman, that should be a no-go, man. All your sports athletes that want to mess with a white woman, man, that want to pass over those sisters in the hood, right? And then the barrios and then the reservations, and want to go get a Edomite and give her the life, give her the rich and famous life, right? That is you're despicable. Let me use that word. You're despicable, black man. There's nothing better than a black, Hispanic, or Native American woman. And I wish there was brothers here that say that's right, because that is the truth, man. Black, Hispanic, and Native American women are the greatest, man. Even the women in their wickedness, man, don't nothing smell better or don't nothing look better than a black, Hispanic woman or a Native American woman. They're just beautiful, right? Smelling like cocoa butters, lotions, and hair grease, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful, and in her right state of mind, the greatest thing on this planet. Just like a brother, just like a black, Hispanic, and Native American brother, right? In their right frame of mind, they're the greatest thing on this planet. Nobody's stronger, right? Let's just look at the brothers in the I.S.U.P.K. Look at the sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. Brothers in the I.S.U.P.K. out there going to camp, building cities, right? Sisters out there feeding thousands, right? Shalom, sis. See that smelling like tortillas. Hey, man, we like tortillas too, man. And biscuits, fried chicken, enchiladas. Ain't that right, sis? You know what I'm talking about? But sisters going out there feeding all the brothers at camp, making sandwiches for the homeless. You know what I mean? And then don't forget about Passover. Don't forget about Passover. Them sisters made thousands of pieces of unleavened bread. In there working hard, man. In there working hard for the Lord, though, for the work of the Lord, man. That's what it is, man. That's why they're the greatest thing on this planet. Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. When we come together in our right understanding, and can't nothing stop us. Carney, us. Y'all crazy, sis. Y'all wow. All right, now we finna get into this, man. So can y'all answer this? Why do our people like to marry outside of their race? Can y'all give me some answers on that? Ooh, that's delicious. All right, we done with this book. We done with the Bible dictionary now. Right? Well, I can answer. One reason is self-hate. They don't love themselves. Right? Their whole life they're told that a black man or a black woman or a Hispanic man, a Hispanic woman, a Native American man or a Native American woman is nothing. Their whole life they're told that they're nothing. They're despicable. You know what I'm talking about? They're never going to amount to nothing. They just a lazy old nigga, and a woman, a black, Hispanic, Native American woman ain't good for nothing but laying on her back. That what they're told. So they have self-hate. They have self-hate. That's what they're told their whole life. Right? And then they get with Commander General Yohana and discover that they're the greatest thing on this planet. And then what happens? Then they start wanting to go out and do all the work. Right? They want to go out and start doing all the work. Sisters be like, what can I help with? What can I do? Right. And then brothers put the sisters to work, and then brothers put other brothers to work, and they get the job done, man. I've seen it happen over and over and over again in the I.S.U.P.K. How you think we get them cookouts all going? How you think it happened at Passover? How you think it happened at the Feast of Unleavened Bread? How you think it happened at the Feast of First Fruits all over the world? Right? How you think it's gonna happen at the blowing of the trumpets? How you think it happens? This is how it happens, man. This is how it happens. Another reason is because they desire that they desire the people that's in power. They desire that power. Right? That's another part of self-hate, but they desire that power. So they think that being with the opposite race, right, it will give them that power, or they will have that power. Right? Now we're going to get into some scriptures. We're gonna come back to that though. We're gonna get to some scriptures. We're gonna go to Genesis 6:1. Right? This is Genesis 6:1. It says, "And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them." Right? This is verse 1. Verse 2 says that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, meaning okay looking. It was all right. It was like, I wonder what that is over there. Oh, look at her. She all right. You should have been looking at the Black, Hispanic, and Native American women, though. That's the first problem. It says, and they took them wives of all which they chose, right? So now we have two demographics. We have the sons of God, right? And we have the daughters of men. Can anybody tell me who the sons of God is? Does anybody know who the sons of God is? This is my drink. I can answer that. Well, the sons of God are Adam and his descendants, right? The Adamites, Adam and his descendants, his family that's on the earth, the ones that descend from Adam. Right, they'd be known as the 12 tribes of Israel, but at that time they were just Adam and his descendants. That's right. Right, they're Israelites before Israel. They're the chosen seed before the chosen nation. Right. And can anybody know who the daughters of men are? My sisters in here really putting in the work. They really in class. That's what's up, sis. Right. The daughters of men are everybody outside of Adamites, their daughters. Everybody outside of the descendants of Adam, that's their daughters. That's who the daughters of men are. So the Adamites, the sons of Adam, were Adam's descendants were marrying and having sex with the descendants of the heathen nations, basically of everybody else that was around him, right? And it says, this is verse 3, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man, right? Meaning fight. My spirit should not fight with this the whole time, right? Because the Most High didn't like that the Adamites were having sex with the daughters of men. He didn't like that. That's not how it was to be. Yesterday, I taught a class called Bone of My Bone, Flesh of My Flesh, meaning family, right? Hold on, let me get that. Genesis 2 and 23, right? This is Genesis 2 and 30. This is Genesis 2 and 23. It says, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Right? Because Adam and Eve, they were family of the earth, and he chose, so they were already family. And then he chose her, or the Most High chose her, and Adam and Eve were family, and then they decided to make a family. right? So that's who the sons of men were supposed to be choosing. They were supposed to be choosing their family and making family with them, right? Just a sidebar. So the Most High said, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man, right? So his spirit should not be fighting with the daughters of men or the sons of men. He shouldn't be fighting with his spirit shouldn't be fighting with that, right? He says, for that he also is flesh, right? Because they're flesh just like you flesh, right? Just like we're flesh, they're flesh too. But we're supposed to be in the spirit of the Most High. So we're supposed to have the law, statutes, and commandments, you know what I mean, in us to where we know that we're not supposed to deal with these other nations in interracial marriage. That know that we're not supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. But then we also have these records to go by because it was left here for us, so we know what to follow, right? And it says, yet his days shall be 120 years. So the Most High numbered that shit. The Most High was like, yeah, y'all gonna live to 120 years, and then I'm gonna kill everything. I'm gonna kill everything with the flood. That's what he told him. This is verse 4. He said, there were giants in the earth in those days, right? And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, right? So there was giants in the world, right? Can anybody tell me what giants the Bible's talking about? What kind of giants? Because it ain't talking about, oh, well, I'm gonna give you the answer now. Well, it ain't talking about 70-foot men, because 70-foot men couldn't have sex with regular sized women. That anatomy just don't flow together, right? So when it's talking about giants, it's talking about famous men of high renown, brothers like right, or celebrities, famous men, brothers like Commander General Yohana, General Mahaiman, General Mayat, General Hazayan. They're talking about men like that, right? Captain Tazariot, Captain Akkad, Captain Mashat, Captain Khan Tamyat, Captain Yatazai. It's talking about brothers like that. It's talking about brothers with that are famous, that brothers that everybody knows, right? That's what it's talking about. And it says, and they bear children to them, right? So high, so celebrity men, the stars and athletes of today, yeah, right. Like LeBron James, everybody knows LeBron James. LeBron James can't go nowhere without somebody be like, hey, is that LeBron James? My brothers like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan can't go nowhere without somebody be like, hey, that's Michael Jordan right there. You know what I mean? Right. And it said they bear children to them. So those high men of renown was having sex with heathen nations and having children with them. That's what they was doing. They was having children with them. And then it says, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown, right? So they became mighty men. That's like Dennis Rodman's father, right? Dennis Rodman's father went over there and had where was it at? I want to say Vietnam. I think it's Vietnam. I want to say Vietnam. But he went over there to one of those Asian countries and had about 8 babies over there. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be the best basketball players over there. They're going to be the best, whatever they are over there. Right? So they're going to be famous wherever they go, right? So that's what it said. That's what it's saying. And which were old, right? Men of renown. So they became renowned. One second. Right. This is the diction. This is the definition of renown. It says known or talked about by many people, famous. Right. So they're going to be known or talked by many people. Their children. They're going to be famous. Right. Does anybody know any Does anybody know any mixed breed famous people or famous people that have the a seed of like a heathen nation and the seed of Israel, right? That's what they're talking about. They became renowned. They became famous because they were from both nations. They came from two different nations. I know a couple. Like what's her name? Diana Ross's daughter. Her kids, Tracy Ellis Ross, right? She became famous because she's Diana Ross's daughter. Diana Ross had sex with an ordinary white man, and now that Edomite is famous. And Tia and Tamara Mowry, right? They became famous. Lenny Kravitz became famous, right? And Lauren London, she's we all thought she was Israel until we seen her daddy. Her daddy's an Edomite, so that makes her an Edomite. She's just an Edomite with darker skin than all the other Edomites, just like the rest of them. Ooh. Right? He said, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. Right? So their wickedness was great in the earth. They was doing all types of manners of wickedness, probably eating pork, smoking weed, eating shrimp, crab, lobster, you know what I mean? Probably building idols to other gods and all types of building altars to false idols. Let me say that, because there are no other God. There's only the Most High. Everything else is idols, right? It says God saw that the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So everything that the heathen nations were thinking, they're evil. They're evil. Everything that they think about is evil. They don't think about nothing that's good. All they think about is how to do wickedness, how to have men marry men and women marry women. Right? That's all they think about. They don't think about nothing good. That's all they think about is wickedness. Pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. And even worse, nowadays they even try to make the children of Israel celebrate those days by giving them those days off. Right? 4th of July, people had Sunday off, right? Because they usually off on the weekends. Most people usually off on the weekend. So they had Sunday off. And then they gave them Monday off. But then they gave them Friday off too. So they gave them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. Who wouldn't be happy about a 4-day weekend? And then they gave them pay or something like that. Who wouldn't be happy about that? Who wouldn't be like, yeah, man, you know what I'm talking about? Who wouldn't be happy about that? About having working so hard all year, right? For very low wages, then they give you 4 days off with 2 of them paid. Who wouldn't be happy about that? Who wouldn't be about around here like, yeah, man. Whew, thank God. That's what they were saying. Like, but they work so hard, so of course they want a day off, man. That's why we call it a slavery, right? And then this is verse 6. And they repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, right? So the Lord was like, man, I don't even know why I made man, why I made these people, right? That he made men on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. The Most High was grieved at his heart, like, man, I shouldn't even made these people. I shouldn't even made these people because I knew what they was gonna do. I knew they was gonna do that. The Most High felt bad that he made humans. Man, like think about you having children, right? And your children disappointed you so much that you was like, man, I regret even having you. I regret even making you. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's how the Most High felt. The Most High felt like, why did I even make people? Right? And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I've had created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. Right. That's how he felt. He said, I'm gonna wipe everything off the earth. I'm gonna wipe everything off the earth because I shouldn't have made them in the first place, because they don't know how to do right. That's how the Most High felt. The Most High was like, I'm gonna kill everything. Urgh. Now, is this the same God the Christian church that the Christian church be teaching about? No, this is not the same God that the Christian church be teaching about. This is not the same God that the Christian church be teaching about. Christian church they teach about their own God. They don't teach about the God of this Bible. Because the God of this Bible said, the God of this Bible was like, yeah, I need to destroy the whole earth. Everybody in it. Wait, I'm gonna read that again, because he just didn't say everybody in it. He said, look, and the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth. He said, both man and beast, all the animals, and the creeping things, that's the insects, and the fowls of the air, all the birds he's gonna kill. For it repented me that I have made them. He said he's gonna kill everything, man. He's not going to leave nothing alive, man. He's not going to leave nothing alive, man. That's how the Most High felt. Because we was doing all types of wickedness, having sex with heathen nations, just like we was doing, just like we do now. Just like we do now, man. Because I don't think there's a famous athlete or a famous, what you call it, a famous actor or anything like that, entertainer or anything like that hasn't had sex with another nation. Through college, the beginning of their career, something like that. Right? So from there, we're going to go to Malachi 3 and 6. That's what I want. I want Malachi 3 and 6. Right? This is, for I am the Lord. Right? I change not. So the Most High changed not. So what he said in Genesis about the sons of men, about him not liking the sons of the sons of Adam, the sons of God having sex and marrying the daughters of men, it's the same today. It's the same today. It was the same in the Old Testament, the same in the New Testament. It's the same thing going on. That's what the Most High that's why he put this in here. For I change not. Right? Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. That's what he told you, so you wouldn't be consumed by the other nations. So you wouldn't be worshiping their gods, going by their customs. That's why the Most High tells you these things. Right? Now let's get it out the law, man. Let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Right? And who should we marry? We should be marrying the brothers and sisters on this sign. Let me get it right here. The brothers and sisters right here that's on this chart. That's who we should be marrying. Right? Why? Why should we be marrying them? Because it's going to tell you right now, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, for art thou an holy people, right? Because the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are holy people. Holy coming from that word Quadash in Hebrew, meaning separate. We are a separate people. So we're separate from everybody else. So we shouldn't be mixing with everybody else. We should be mixing with ourselves. That's what we should be doing. We should be marrying each other. We shouldn't be marrying these other nations because they're not a separate people. Unto the Lord thy God. They don't have no God. All their false idol worshiping. They don't have no one true living power. Right? The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. The Lord chose Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be special to himself. That's who that's who the Lord chose. Right? You ever went to the refrigerator and was like, yeah, I choose that right there. If you choose that, man, you don't choose everything else. Everything else stays there, stays put. I don't want that. You ever woke up in the morning and chose a special pair of shoes? Like, yeah, I like all my shoes, right? But them shoes right there, they're my favorite. My favorite pair of Jordans, my favorite pair of Nikes. Like, yeah, they're my favorite pair of shoes right there. They sometimes when I wear those other shoes, they be hurting my feet. Those other shoes, they too big. But them shoes right there, they just fit just right. It just fit just right on me. Well, I could, you know what I mean? I could run fast. I remember my nephew when he was younger, he had name brand shoes or whatever, but he had these play shoes that he had, and he used to always want to wear the play shoes because he said it make me run faster. It's funny, but it's true. He said these are my favorite shoes because they make me run faster. So he wasn't worried about all those designers and things then when he was a kid. Right when he was a kid, he was just worried about being the fastest thing on the playground. I want to be the fast when they say I want to race, like, look, let's race. I got my trusty shoes on. We can room. That's how the Most High feels about us. Most High be like, yeah, they're my favorite right there. I trust them. I know what they gonna do. That's why he gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to follow. He knew what we were gonna do. He know us. He know the rest of the world too, but he know us. You like, yeah, them right there. You know what I'm talking about? Don't nobody run faster than them. Don't nobody jump higher than them when they in their right mind. Can't nobody think like them. They're gonna create the stop sign. They're gonna create cotton gins. They're gonna create cars. They're gonna create stoplights. They're gonna create toilets. They're gonna do the first open heart surgery. Nobody's gonna be like them. They're gonna be what's that movie called Hidden Figures where those black women was the first calculators, calculating all the calculating that information for NASA. That's how the Most I feel about that. Them right there, they the ones. And he said, they should be the Lord God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. And it says, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. You're above everybody that's on the face of the earth. So you shouldn't be mixing with something lower than you. Right? Those second-class citizens, because you first class. You the greatest thing on this planet. You above everybody else on this planet. So you should be mixing with everybody else that's above everybody else. Y'all shouldn't be going down. We should be going up. Right? Now we're going to go to verse 3. Deuteronomy 7:3, right? It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. That's what it says. Neither should you make marriages with them. So you shouldn't be having sex with the other nations because you shouldn't make marriages with them. Right? And it says, thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son. That's what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't give your daughters unto their sons, right? That's what you shouldn't do. How many times you see it's okay for the mama say it's okay for the daughter to be having to be got a white boyfriend? No, it's not okay. You shouldn't be giving your daughters to their sons. And nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. And you shouldn't be. And when the boy bring home a Edomite girl or heathen nation, you should raise just as much hell as you did about your daughter. The hell is wrong with you? I forbid it. Yeah, y'all ain't never heard that word. Yeah, y'all ain't never heard that word from your parents or something like that. But it's about time that we take responsibility for our kids and start forbidding them to do things. I forbid it. And then tell them why, man. Because that's against God. That's a sin. You shouldn't be doing that. That's against God to be mixing the races. Right? And verse 4 said, for they will turn away thy son from following me. Right? That's the same thing what happened with Solomon. We're about to get to that too, but Solomon had 300 concubines, or over like 300 wives, 700 concubines, right? And then he turned away from the Most High and started building temples and altars to the gods of his concubines, right? So it says, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. That's why we're in this predicament that we're in now, because the Lord is angry with us. The Lord is angry with us because after everything that happened back in slavery time and all the way up until Martin Luther King, right? Everything that happened to us, we want to get here in the after that in the 70s, 80s, 90s, the new millennium, the 2010s, and now we're in 2021, going into 2020s, and everything that's still happening. Brothers is still taking other nations to be their wives. Right? How many times we go to camp and there's brothers out there who are just walking hidey ho with they white woman. Yeah. Like they just bigger than everybody else. Walking right past us. Not want to stop them. Like, what y'all talking about, man? Which they should be like, what y'all, they should stop. They see the slavery signs. They see the 12 tribes of Israel signs. Right? They should see, they see that we are not Africans. They see that, but they wanna act like they don't see it because they with their dog. Right? And it says, but thus shall ye deal with them. Right. But we still deal with them. We still deal with them, even with the warnings that the Lord gave us. We still deal with them. And it says, ye shall destroy their altars. Right. So if you do come into truth the truth, right, and you got a heathen husband or a heathen wife, right? You can't put them away. There's no such thing as divorce. You should just love your wife, man. But in you, what you do, you destroy their altars, man. You don't be worshiping their altars. You break down their images, man. Caesar Borgia should not come into the school, right? You cut down their groves. It says, and burn their graven images with fire, right? That's what you should do, man. You shouldn't be worshiping that. You shouldn't be bringing that to the school, that ideology, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Brothers got tattoos got tattoos before they was in the truth. Not in the truth, they don't get tattoos no more, right? We should never see your tattoos. We should never see that heathen woman or that heathen brother. Do not bring that in here into the I.S.U.P.K. They cannot come in. They cannot come in here. They cannot come into the schools. Why? Because they're unclean. We're not bringing no unclean thing into the schools, man. So don't bring them hither. Don't bring them around us. Why should you bring something that we dislike around your brothers and sisters, right? That's like smoking weed around us, something like that. We don't like that. Why? Get that away from us, bro. What's wrong with you? Put that out when you're in the presence of priests and prophets, right? I know we'll be at camp. I just like tell brothers all the time, man. Not brothers, but like when they come up and they be trying to hear what we say and they be smoking something, Cap, like put that out. We were smoking it around priests and prophets, man. They be like, dang, my bad. I ain't. You know what I mean? But that's how it be, man. That's how it is. Hey, smoke around priests and prophets, man. Put that out, right? Hold on. Now we're gonna get 1 Kings 11:1. We're gonna get Solomon, right? This is 1 Kings 11:1. Now we're gonna get into Solomon, because Solomon was something else. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women. Right? King Solomon loved many strange women. And that's what these these heathen women are. They're strange women. They're women that we don't condone in marrying, making kids with, making a family with. No, we make a family with our family. That's what it is. We make a family with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans only. Right? It says, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. Right. You see how many nations Solomon was loving on? It says many strange women, and then it starts to name them. It says together with the daughter of Pharaoh, Egyptians. It says women of Moabites, right? Chinese, the woman of Ammonites, Japanese, Edomites, white women, Zidonians, and Hittites. He was taking care of all of those women. That's what King Solomon was doing. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall go into them, neither shall they come into you. Right. Because the Lord told us not to take their daughters, right? And then not to give our daughters to them. And then he said not to take their sons and not to give their sons to them. Right? And it says, neither shall they come into you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So he cleaved unto these women. You know how it said that you should leave mother and father and cleave unto your wife. Well, Solomon was cleaving unto these women, unto these heathen women from other nations. And Solomon was the wisest king, the richest king in the world at that time. So I'm pretty sure they was getting all the treatment that just like now when a sports athlete, when the athlete, right, takes a heathen woman, right, he gives her the good life. So I'm pretty sure Solomon was giving these heathen women the good life. I'm pretty sure Solomon was giving these women the good life. They was probably staying at, they had their own castles or whatever. I'm pretty sure Solomon was giving them the good life. Skipping over his bone and bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh to take these heathen women. Oh, nasty, filthy dog thing that they are. Right? And it said, this is verse 3, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300. He had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his heart and his wives turned away his heart. So Solomon's wives turned away his heart from the Most High. He wasn't like King David, right? And it said, for it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord, his God, right? So his heart was not perfect with the Lord, his God. So he started worship. He started doing things for the idols, for the other gods, right? And it says, as was the heart of David, his father. So David had a perfect heart for the Most High. David slipped and fell sometimes, but he always did what the Most High told him to do. Most High said, go kill everybody over there. He went to go kill everybody over there. Literally. right? And it says, for Solomon went after Ashtoreth and the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites, right? And so he went after these other gods, started going to these other gods' temples and things like that. Started trying to figure out, so what's that about? What they do? So your God said you did this and did that, and right? Weird. We don't want to know about these other gods. All we need to know about the Lord, power Yahweh. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, right? And it said, this is verse 6. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, right? So Solomon started doing evil things to what the Lord think. Lord be like, well, we think, oh, it ain't nothing. It ain't that bad, right? Because that's what everybody's gonna. That's what everybody in the world is gonna say. It ain't that bad. This, that, the third. But the Lord was like, nah, that's evil. Just like the I.S.U.P.K said, that's evil that you have sex, that you marry in other nations, right? The Lord was like, that's evil. But everybody in the world be like, and there ain't nothing wrong with it. It's okay. You can love who you want to love. No, you can't love who you want to love. The Most High told you who to love, right? And it says, then Solomon did. Wait. It says, and Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord as did his father. Right? It says, then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, right? And the abomination of Moab. So he built a building, right? So they can worship Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, right? The what Moab believes in, the god of the idol of Moab. He built a temple to their idols. That's what Solomon did. And in the hill that is before Jerusalem for Moloch, the abomination of Ammon. So he built a worship place for Ammon too. A temple for Ammon too. He built a temple for Moab and a temple for Ammon, for their gods. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. That's what he did, man. That's what he did. He did that for all his wives, it says. It says, and likewise he did for all his strange wives. So all his heathen wives, he built temples to them and burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. That's what Solomon did. And it says, and the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice. So the Lord appeared to Solomon twice, right? And had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Wherefore the Lord unto Solomon, for as much this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee and will give it to thy servant. That's what the Most High did. The Most High took the kingdom from Solomon and gave it to his servants. That's what the Most High did. Because Solomon didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. He started sacrificing onto other gods, to strange gods and idols, false idols. That's what Solomon did. He started building temples and burning incense and giving and putting sacrifices. Sheesh. In Deuteronomy 7:3 or 7:4, it said that for they would turn thy heart away from me. That's why the Most High put that in there. And Solomon still didn't obey and still didn't listen. So he took the kingdom from Solomon. Just like we didn't listen and obey, he took his heritage away from us. So that the name of Israel will be no more, right? He took his heritage away from us. That's why we're called Black, Hispanic, and Native American now, and not the children of Israel. Right? That's what he did. From there, we're gonna go to Nehemiah 13:23. Where we at? Nehemiah. Hey, Nehemiah 13:23. What else is on here? Right. So this is Nehemiah 13:23. It says, In those days also saw I Jews. He says, saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and Ammon, of Ashdod of Ammon, and of Moab. Right. So this is Nehemiah. He's seen. It said, in those days, I also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and Ammon and of Moab. Right. So this is Nehemiah. He said he's seen his brothers. He's seen Jews, right, marry women of Ammon and Moab. Right. He says, and their children spake half in speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language. So he couldn't speak the Lashawan Kodash. Their children couldn't speak the Lashawan Kodash, but they could speak Ammonite and Moabite. Right? So they couldn't speak their language, but they couldn't speak their language, but they could speak the language of the heathen, of their heathen mothers. Right? And it says, but according to the language of each people, right? So everybody that they married, they could speak the language of the heathen mother, but they couldn't speak the language of they could speak their proper Hebrew language, the Lashawan Kodash. That's what they couldn't do. And it says, and I contended with them and cursed them and smote them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by God, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Now, what that sound like? Didn't we just read something like that? We just read something like that in Deuteronomy 7:3, right? We read something like that in Genesis 6:1, or Genesis 6, it was like 6:4 or something like that. 6:2 maybe. We just read something like that. So why does the Most High keep saying this over and over and over again? Because he doesn't want the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American mixing with everybody else on the planet. He doesn't want Israelites mixing with everybody else. So interracial marriage is a sin. I'm gonna show you though. And and it says this verse 26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? We just read that in First Kings 11:1, right? Or 11 and that chapter we just read that about how Solomon sinned by having sex with these heathen nations, right? By sin by these things, yet among many nations was there no king like him, right? So there was no king like Solomon. Solomon was the richest. Solomon was the wisest. Solomon was one of the greatest kings that ever lived, right? And it says, so yet among many nations there was no king like him. So in all the other nations, there has never been no king like Solomon. Right. And the most high know that, like, shit, Solomon was great. But he just loved them heathen women, man. He just loved them heathen women. Right. He says, who was beloved of his God. Right. Because the Most High loved Solomon. He was like, yeah, he loved Solomon so much, he let him build the temple. Remember, he told King David that you can't build the temple because your hands are stained with blood, man. You did too much killing to build the temple. But he let Solomon build the temple. Ain't that something? So Most High loves Solomon, right? He was beloved by his God, and God made him king over all Israel, right? He said God made him king over all Israel. He said, nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. The Most High called these women outlandish. He called these women outlandish. You know what I mean? Outlandish women. That's what the heathen nation women are. They're dogs, man. They don't deserve to be in the same breath with Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. They don't deserve to be in the same breath. Be around them. They don't like Black, Hispanic, and Native American women are the greatest women on this planet. How dare we, brothers, take wives of another nation? And I'm concentrating on the brothers mainly because it be mainly the brothers that take wives of other nations. Because the sisters be rocking with the brothers, man. They'll stick with us through all of our through everything, man. They'll stick with us. But it's except for a certain few, man, like Serena Williams, man. She destroyed those. She took all her money to the West, to the so-called white man. That's what she did. Right? But the brothers, we get the money, man, and we want to go run for the first heathen that we see. Boy, they be ugly. You know, for some reason, we need to stop doing that, brothers. We need to start going to the getting the money and taking it back to the hood and find one of them bad sisters. Like, yeah, we're gonna do this. What we gonna do? We're gonna build businesses out here. We're gonna do this out here. And then when those brothers that's in that hood get accumulate the wealth from us being there and us getting us being there and getting that wealth there, then they can take it to the next neighboring hood. Right, so that way we don't keep it all in one city or one area. It got to trickle down to another neighborhood and another neighborhood and another city and another city, and you know what I mean. That way we can start building some black wealth, and not black wealth that's just gonna take their money and go run and live in the suburbs with Edomites and living next to them. Then they feel some type of way when the Edomites kick in their doors and get the branding on black men, or when the police pull them over and want to beat on them, they be like, "Why y'all beating on me? I live in this neighborhood." But you don't belong there. You might live there, but you don't belong there. Suffering racism, your kids going to school with these devils, with these young devils, and they're calling them nigger. Excuse my language, but that's what they do. There's I'm gonna bring out articles on that, but that's what they do. They go out and they bring out articles. I mean, they go to school with these devils, and these devils be teasing these black Hispanic and Native American kids, calling them niggers and spicks. To be so young, but to be so evil at the same time. That's how you know they're the devil, man. That's how you know they're the devil. When they used to lynch black men, man, they used to be whole families out there having laying a towel down and eating sandwiches and having a good old time out there. While a black man is lynched in the tree, burnt alive, castrated, beat. That's what they used to do, man. And the brothers are supposed to be leaders of their family, man. They're supposed to be the ones telling them, "Nah, we ain't moving out there. We're gonna stay right over here. We're gonna stay right over here." But the brothers just destroyed as the sisters, and everybody wants to go over there and live over there and then get discriminated against and then feel some type of way. You should be listening to the I.S.U.P.K, man, and staying keeping your tax money in the hood. When you make it big, keep that tax money in the hood. Because there's schools in the hood that your people go to that need that tax money. Quit taking all your wealth to the so-called Edomite neighborhood. But it said, I'm I'm gonna start at 26 again. It says, "Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him." It says, "Who was beloved of his God." So the Most High loved Solomon, and God made him king over all Israel. You know what I mean? Because David brought all of the Israelites together, right? David brought all of the Israelites together, and then Solomon was made king over all Israel. David spent his life trying to bring the 12 tribes of Israel together, giving them their inheritance, conquering in the Lord's name, right? And it says, "Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin." So outlandish women caused Solomon to sin. They made Solomon, they didn't make Solomon sin, but you know, that's women for you. You know what I mean? But those women took Solomon away from his king. That's what they did. I mean, took Solomon away from his God. That's what they did. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord and started building temples to those women's gods, and then burning incense and making sacrifices and doing all this crazy thing that made the Lord angry. That made the Lord angry, right? This is verse 27. It says, "Shall we then hearken unto you sorry, Salakia." It says, "Shall we hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God and marrying strange wives?" Right? Because that's transgressing against the Most High, is by marrying strange wives. Right? And it says, "And none of the sons of Joiada, the sons of Elishab, right, the high priest, was sons in the law to Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me." Right. So they started chasing the heathens away. They started chasing the heathen, the heathen women and the heathen men that they was marrying. They started chasing them away. You ain't gonna marry our women, and you know what I'm talking about. You ain't gonna marry our women, and you ain't gonna take our sons. Right. That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing now. When the little sister bring the Edomite boy over, the brother should stand up like, "Man, if you don't get out of here, move, get out." You feel me? "No, sis, I forbid it." I like that word, forbid. I like that. Right. But now since we covered all that, right, about the laws and brothers taking on strange wives, now let's see what a sin is. Right. This is 1 John 3 and 4. Right. It says, "Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law." Right. For sin is the transgression of the law. So that's why it says interracial marriage is a sin, because mixing the races, right, or mixing Israel's bloodline with other bloodlines outside of Israel, that's a sin. That's a transgressing the law. That's transgressing the law, because the Most High made it important enough to put it as a law, right? So that's the law. So that's how you're sinning if you're having sex with other nations, right? And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and him is no sin. Right. So if you in Christ, right, we can't kill you no more or we can't punish you anymore for having an interracial marriage. That's why there's brothers like Katazai there. You know what I mean? But he's an Israelite because his father's an Israelite. Because back in the Old Testament, they used to be, they wouldn't be able to come into the temple or come into around the congregation. They would not be able to. They will not be able to. But now, since Christ came, now they're allowed to come into the temple. Those children are allowed to come into the temple. If your father's an Israelite, you can now come into the temple. You can now come and learn your heritage. But back then they couldn't. Back then it was like, you're not finna be around here talking about your mother this and your mother that, and her God is this and her God is that, and turning my people away from. It was like, But now since Christ came, they can now come into the temple and worship their God. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. All right. Ooh. Hold up. I got some more. Where's that? Here it is. Let's get now we're gonna go to Baruch 4:1. Where's got it? This is Baruch 4:1, right? It says, "This is the book of the commandments of God, right? And the law that endureth forever, right? All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die." Right? Because this is the laws of God. So they're going to be around forever. Right? Just like they were around at the beginning of time in Genesis, when the sons of men were when the sons of God were sleeping with the daughters of men, they're around now. Because the sons of God are still sleeping with with the daughters of men. Good night. It was the daughters of men. Right? With all your athletes and stuff like that. They're still doing the same thing that then, because they're men of renown, right? Everybody knows them. They're famous, and they're still sleeping with the daughters of men, when they should be sleeping with the daughters of God, with the princesses of the Most High, man. That's what they should be doing, man. They should be taking a Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman and making their situation better, instead of making the situation better for the heathen nations. They don't need no help they don't need no help getting rich. They don't need no help having all that money. That's like Tiger Woods, man. Tiger Woods took a nanny. I guess she was a nanny or a what would you call it? She was cleaning the houses and stuff like that. A maid, and then he had babies with her and everything. And then she found out he was cheating, or then she found out that he had other women, right? And then she took him for a whole bunch of millions. I don't know how much millions, but a lot of millions. I remember that. I was like, it was some crazy number, and I was thinking in my mind, like, I ain't never gonna reach that. I was thinking in my mind, like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So when he should have never took he should have never took that woman anyway. He should have took a Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman. Right. And his father took a Asian woman, took a heathen. That's what I've been talking about, man. That's what we're talking about. We're gonna read Baruch 4:1 again. It says, "This is the book of the commandments of God." Talking about the whole Bible. The whole Bible is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. It says forever, man. It's not just for a time, man. It's forever. It's not just until Christ came. No, it's forever, man. It's forever. Forever is a mighty long time. Like Big Chris say, forever is a mighty long time. It is though. Forever is a mighty long time, man. Forever. It never. These laws shall never depart from Israel again, man. We're gonna keep these laws and statutes and commandments forever. Right? It says all they that keep it shall come to life, man. All they that keep it shall come to life, man. That's why you see brothers. That's why you see brothers that join the I.S.U.P.K and getting class and start learning what they can do and can't do. They go out and do amazing things in the community, man. They go out and feed brothers and go to camp and breakdowns, and they do amazing things. They bring in other brothers and sisters that do the same. That's what happens, man. They become great men because they come to life. They can live now. They're not spiritually dead. Now they're spiritually woke. Excuse me. And you can't confound them. You can't confound the brothers in the I.S.U.P.K. And they're not ashamed to be Israelites, man. They're not ashamed to be Israelites. And it says, but such as leave it shall die. So if you leave the law, statutes, and commandments, you will die. Spiritually and physically, man. That's both. That's both. Give me get Romans 6 and 23. Where we at? Let me get Romans 6 and 23. Romans 6 and 23, man. It says, for the wages of sin is death. So if you sin, you get paid back by death, right? So if you're sinning, you're going to get paid back by death, right? And it says, but the gift of God is eternal life, right? So your gift from God is eternal life, man. You're going to be able to live forever through your kids. And that's another cut to the Christian church right there, man. That's more like what would you call it? Reincarnation or regeneration, man, because you're gonna be born back into your blood, into the bloodline, right? So you're gonna live. So you're gonna. The gift of God is eternal life. So if you sin, you get paid back by death. But if you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you get paid back by being reincarnated or coming back or living through your kids, man. And your kids. Because we're going to rule forever under Christ, man. Right? That's the kingdom of heaven. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans ruling under Christ, right? So that's why it's important that you marry a woman of your own nation, man. That's why that's important, man. Right? And it says through Jesus Christ, our Lord, because Christ came and died for us, man. He came and died for us to have that second chance with the Most High, to be that mediator for the Most High, because the Most High wasn't listening to us. He didn't give a damn. He was like, man, look, I'm tired of these hard-headed Negroes. That's what he was like. And Christ was like, no, look, Pops, give us one more chance. Give us some more. Because he was mediating. You know, that's how you mediate. I know, Pops, that you fed up with him, but let me go down there and give him a try. Let me give him a try. You know, tomorrow I'm gonna give him a try now. Okay, I'm gonna try. Let me try to tell him something. Maybe they'll listen to me. Cause I'm gonna come just like them. I'm gonna show them how it's done. I'm gonna give them the steps. I'm gonna give them the blueprints. We're gonna see. Let's give him one more chance. Please. So Christ was mediating for us. Because the Most High, Christ was mediating for us. That's just like you having you have some kids, right? And you have an older son that does everything that you want to do, but then you got three bad little younger brothers that just don't want to listen. And you be like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm about to and then the big brother come in like, look, Dad, I understand, Pops, that you upset, but let me try to talk to him and let me try to and just let me get a shot at this before you go haywire and get with the belt. And you know what I mean? Let me try. That's what that's what Christ did. Christ came and was like, look, tomorrow Christ came and he mediated for us. And he gave his life. That's how important Christ thought about his brothers and sisters. He gave his life for us. How many brothers and sisters nowadays gonna give their life? That's what. So that's why that's why it's important that we keep the laws of God, because Christ died for those. Christ died for them and us. That's why it's important to keep those laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? And with that, we're going to end class. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatham to all the brothers. Yahweh Shem Alatan by Shem Yahushua to all the sisters. We're the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander General Yohana. And we've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites that the Bible speak of since 1969. And we're the I.S.U.P.K. We're not affiliated with no other group, period. No Christian group, no Muslim group, no Israelite group, no Buddhist group, no East Indian group, no political group. We're not affiliated with any other group. And with that, we're gonna pass the class over. We're gonna do the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. All right. Well, let me stand up. My bad. It's locking. There we go. It says this is the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. It says we are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8 verses 8 through 10. Ma'ashera means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny, 10% of every penny of any increase of the Lord give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. We are in the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. It's the first day of the 7th month, Monday, September 6th, 2021. You can find this Leviticus 23, the 23rd chapter, verses 24 through 25. All right. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, scarf. And this is the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. All right. With that, we're going to do the Lord's Prayer. Hamajim. We're going to turn the face to east. It says, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayat, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Nanawa, Kabawath Yanawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawath Yanawa, Wala Allah, Tabaya Nawa, Banasaiwan, Abal, Hayashaya Nawa, An, Ra, Kaya, Lakat, Hamalakwath, Wala Allah, Wata Pa'arath, Wala Lumyum, Aman. Right? Now we're going to do the Lord's Prayer in English. This is Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever so be it. All right. Now we're gonna turn the face to front. We're gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Ahmad Shapat, Ahmad Barak, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabarakatam. All right, we're gonna start and turn the face to sisters. Now we're gonna give a courtesy to the sisters. Ahmad Shapat, Ahmad Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatan by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And with that, we're gonna clap it up. It's in the claps. Hey, bro. Man, we're gonna get to the. Should have had this queued up, but I couldn't have it queued up. Jeez.
Ain't showing no grit. I'm in the stage. I'm about to take a seat. The picture saying it clear. I think I had an epiphany. My eyes are open. I'm wide awake. Thinking like I thought you was my mate. That was my mistake. But what? Coming up, epiphany. Thought you was gonna steal my identity. And let me surrender the ink. I'm bringing the energy. Like a butler, bring the image. Reach his hand out. Try to harm me. I'm a color distributor. It's what I heard, what I met. You gon' do me fat. You gon' take my clap. You gon' X me out. I go to the head, knock my clap. Put the top, this cat. You gon' do me like that. And the world gon' get back and back. You don't wrong. So wrong. You don't wrong. So wrong. Thought you was gonna X me out. And the world gon' get back. You don't wrong. So wrong. So wrong. Eyes up to the clouds, living for a better day. Head full of stress, need another place for my head to lay. They want it wrong, shit. I'm about to give it to her. Came up on a boss bitch. She get fly and sit in the living room. So ain't no time to crap. It's time to get it out. Let's get it. This was part of the plot. I was just feeling the map. Cut from another club. And the whole other vesture. Yeah, I'm all thick. Check the color and texture. Hit it talking and whisper. Look how raw you are. They know that I'm different. I deserve all of this. Strive for heaven first. I outlive all my people. My next saying he'll die with you when the trouble comes out. Lord, you heard what a map. You gon' do me fat. You gon' take my clap. You gon' X me out. Don't do what I back. Put the top, this cat. Don't do gon' do me like that. And the world gon' get back. You don't wrong. So wrong. You don't wrong. So wrong. Thought you was gonna X me out. And the world gon' get back. You don't wrong. So wrong. So wrong. Yeah. No 40 Yeah.
But the rest get to it. I ain't taking no slack, get to it.
You take a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Do it, I can prove it. Bro, what we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no counts, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Hey. I don't care what they talking. All I want is my Porsche. I'ma ride up clean. Look at me, I'm a false. Kill them off like a boss. Nigga, you better stop it.
All about my profit. I'm shoving off like a rocket.
I'm about to blow these niggas out the water.
We go harder, go harder. Steph Curry, fourth quarter.
All I got is my niggas. All I fear is my fault. All I bring is that slaughter. Bomb on the Pearl Harbor. He ain't real, he alive. If he real, who am I? Got his ass in the fire. You can't till I die. Please don't cross the line. Try to stop trying. Bomb sharp is ball fire. I'm on the grind. Let's get to it. Double time and believe. You ain't harming me, nigga. I brought a whole army of niggas. So I ain't born with precision. Follow every order different. Let's get to it. Nigga on the shit, get to it. Ain't taking no shit, get to it. You take a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how
speaking. Now it ain't for no reason. You probably don't understand. That's why I got the master plan. And all the power in my hand. Sling the shit on demand. You better watch where you stand. Cause they flamed up and ain't changing up for nobody. Damn warfare, what you know about? This ain't a rap, this a message. Ain't a real be respected. Fake niggas like a virus. A lot of niggas infected. I came to correct it. But a whole bunch of soldiers. They move at my discretion. When the rebels hit the engine, all the niggas hit the exit. Them niggas get the sprint. I demand your attention. Sorry, nigga, I ain't folding. But you know a nigga hold it. Nigga, look how I'm rolling. Shorty, check my demeanor. Be smooth, but I'm cleaner. Flow like Aquafina. Hit him running Seraphina. Yeah. I gotta deliver. I'm about to have a baby. But I still wanna beat him. Let's get to it. Nothing comes to a dream. I'm strictly business. That's all about the business. Rock solid and relentless. You came to make friends. I came to make a killing. That's why I'm gonna kill it. These niggas hurting. That's why I'm fishing, nigga. You need a healing. I know you can hear me. I'ma bet you a rookie. And Kanye, you a Donald Trump. I'm a pussy. I'ma kill you a cookie. Ain't nothing you can tell me. I'm too ready. Let's get to it. We gonna